Thank you. Thank you for joining us today. We appreciate those of you who have come on this sunny day. My name is Derek Brown. I'm the chairman of the Utah Republican Party, and it's a pleasure to be here, and it's a pleasure to introduce the next governor of the state of Utah. As a party, we had what I like to call during the campaign an embarrassment of riches. We had a number of really top-notch, amazing candidates, individuals who were well qualified. And as a party, our job was to facilitate the elections and see who it is that the delegates and the voters were to choose as the most qualified, the best of the best. And it's unique this year to have the same candidates win not only amongst the Republicans at the state convention, but to also win in a statewide primary. That is Spencer Cox. And it's a privilege and an honor to be here to introduce him. One of the reasons that I believe that his campaign and him as a team did so well was something that one of the writers here with one of the newspapers here in Utah made the comment that it was one of the best campaigns they had seen in years. One of the reasons for that is that as an elected official, you make decisions and you have to make tough choices and solve problems. And one of the benefits this year is we have the opportunity as voters in Utah to watch our candidates make tough decisions and solve a very real-life problem in real time. One of the things that Spencer Cox and Deidre Henderson did was they had the ability to solve a very difficult problem, and that is, how do you get your message out? How do you help people understand who you are and what your campaign is about? And they were able to do that under unique and challenging circumstances, which gave us, as the voters, a preview of how they would solve problems and challenges as elected officials. On a personal note, I have known Spencer Cox for many years. I've seen him not only in the public view, but I've seen him behind closed doors grapple with difficult decisions. He's someone who is thoughtful, he's contemplative, he's someone who understands the big picture and yet understands how that big picture applies to the individual. He is someone who exhibits, I believe, the best qualities that we can offer as Utahns. And as the chairman of the Utah Republican Party, we are proud as a party to support him and to help him and help all Utahns get to know him better. And with that being said, I'd like to introduce the next governor of the state of Utah, Spencer Cox.
Well, thank you, Derek, for that very kind introduction. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here. I'm sorry that we made you stand out in the sun, in the heat. We sure appreciate you taking time to be with us on this very momentous day for us. We are so excited to have the vote and the faith and the trust of the Republicans here in the state of Utah to be their nominee as we move forward towards the November election. When we started this journey over a year ago, we certainly received some criticism from the experts. They told us that we started too early. They told us that we couldn't win with a novice 25-year-old campaign manager. To Austin and all the people that were with him, I want to thank you for proving them wrong. You guys have been incredible. We have a lot of millennials and Gen Z out there working on our campaign, and they get a lot of criticism, and it's certainly unfounded. They work harder than anyone I've ever met. They're brilliant, and we feel so fortunate to have them on our team to help lead us as we have gone through this campaign. We were told that we couldn't win at convention, and we won anyway. And that was in large part because there was one decision I made that we received no criticism on, and that was picking Senator Deidre Henderson as my running mate. It was universally praised, and there's a reason for that. I knew it was the right decision. It turned out to be an even better decision than I thought at the time. She helped navigate us through the convention when I was basically unavailable, and she helped reach out and connect with delegates and make those connections when I couldn't do it, and we were so grateful to have their support. We were told that we couldn't gather signatures without hiring a signature gathering firm, and we proved them wrong. We had so many volunteers. We were told that you couldn't raise money at a grassroots level. We had over 2,700 people donate to our campaign, more than any campaign for a Republican campaign for governor in the history of our state, and more than all the other campaigns combined. We had grassroots support, hundreds, thousands of people who made calls, gathered signatures, put up signs for us, and we're so grateful. They made the difference in this race. I want to thank my family for their sacrifice. They have been incredible every step of the way. Campaigns are really hard on families. It's been a rough year, especially with the coronavirus and everything else that has gone on, and they have been there every step of the way. I love them, and I'm grateful for Abby, who was with me when we made this announcement. We made it together. She has been right by my side every step of the way, and I'm so grateful for her and for them. To the other candidates, I want to thank them. All three of them have called me personally. They have all offered their support. I'm so grateful for the races that they ran. As Derek mentioned, we had an embarrassment of riches this time. I can tell you, as I talk to other candidates in other states, you get some interesting people that decide to run for office sometimes. We had the best of the best here in the state of Utah, and it was a slog for all of us, but we're so grateful for their support as we now unify the party, as we bring Republicans across the state together to prepare for November. We recognize, I've mentioned all the things that the experts said about our campaign and why we shouldn't win, and we did anyway. Now the experts say that we're going to win easily in November, and I don't trust the experts there either. We're going to work very, very hard. I have had an opportunity to meet the candidate that's running on the Democrat side. He's a wonderful professor. He's a very, very brilliant person and a public servant. We look forward to having a robust discussion and debates, and we're going to work just as hard towards November as we did to get to this point on June 30th. So with that, I am so excited to introduce my running mate. When we were, it's interesting as you go through a campaign, your feelings change about it. You go from wanting to win for you, and I passed that a long time ago. I wanted to win for Senator Henderson and for all our supporters. This state needs Senator Henderson as Lieutenant Governor. I've said this before. She is brilliant. She is empathetic. She is compassionate. She gets all of this in a very powerful way. She is a voice for women across the state, not just Republicans, but women of every stripe. And we need her in this office much more than we need me as governor. And so I am so excited to have this opportunity to run with her. We need to win in November so you can get to know her even better. But it's my privilege to introduce the next Lieutenant Governor of the great state of Utah, Deidre Henderson.
Thank you, Lieutenant Governor. As always, you're way too generous. Today's a really good day, and I am very proud to be here. There are a lot of things that I have loved about the last 4 months. There are a lot of things that have been hard also, but I think the good things have outweighed the hard things. And one of those good things has been being a part of this campaign. It's been incredible. I've known Spencer since 2013 when we served one legislative session together. We were both elected in 2012, and I've been able to work with him in various capacities ever since then. But working with him the last 4 months has been very eye-opening, and he has confirmed many, many times everything I knew about him, which is that he is a man of character, he is a man of principle, he's a man of integrity, and he's a man who deeply cares about other people. And that to me is something, those are intangible qualities that you cannot fake, that you really can't even learn. But those are qualities that Spencer has in abundance, and I am so honored to be his running mate. Choosing to give up my ability to serve a third term in the Utah State Senate was kind of a hard decision. It's one I had to make. I couldn't do both things. And I'm very glad, and I told Spencer before the results came in last week that I had no regrets, and that I would be glad either way. not only because I got to know him and Abby better and his incredible family and the wonderful campaign team that we have, but I've gotten to know the voters of the state of Utah. We have incredible people in this state, and Spencer and I care very deeply for the people of Utah, and we have loved getting to know you. We have loved learning about you and learning about the things that matter to you and what we need to do to make improvements in the state so that you can thrive. Because we know that we're not one government program away from prosperity in the state of Utah, that the prosperity and the success and the heart and soul of Utah are its people. And we're so very grateful to have this, the honor of this nomination now. We know we have work to do. We know we need to unite the Republican Party, and we are committed to that. We are committed to listening. We are committed to representing. And we want you to know that we care deeply about you, about our state, and are prepared to move forward in November. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for this opportunity.
So I just want to conclude with two things, and then we'll take some questions. The first is this. Oops, and I apologize if I knock some of your microphones off. Hopefully you can still hear. I want to conclude with this, that the other thing that we were told was that we couldn't win without running negative ads and running a negative campaign. And we were willing to lose to prove people wrong. I'm so glad that we were able to prove people wrong and actually succeed. I want to make it clear to everyone out there who is thinking of running for office, who is currently running for office, negative campaigns do not work in the state of Utah. The people of Utah have made that clear over and over and over again, and we stand to tell you today that they do not work. We have too much of that in our country today. We are far too negative. We are far too divisive. Politics has become a religion to people. Politics has become so toxic, and we stand against that in everything that we do. And so we just want to make that very clear. There is a place to run for office. Those of you who don't want to do it because you know you hate the negativity, you think it's a terrible thing, please join us. Consider running for office. You can do it, and you can win the right way. And finally, to the people of the great state of Utah, we just want to say thank you. You've been incredible. We visited all 248 cities and towns. We got to know you. We got to listen to you. We're so proud to be able to represent you. And I also want to make it clear that Deidre and I are not running to be the governor and lieutenant governor of the Republican Party. We're running to be the governor and lieutenant governor of the state of Utah. We are running to represent all Utahns, no matter what your beliefs are, no matter what political party you belong to, no matter your race, your ethnicity, your religion, what language you speak. We are running to represent all of Utah, and we believe that Utah can be an example to the nation of how to do things the right way, that we can come together despite our differences, that we can solve problems together. That's why we ran, that's why we won, and that's why we're going to win in November. So with that, I'm happy to answer any questions, or any of us can answer questions that you might have. So the question was, the race was very tight between us and Ambassador Huntsman, and how do we view that? Lots of people voted for him. Lots of people should have voted for him. He's an incredibly talented and qualified person. He's literally had the job before. And so we don't see that as a negative. We see that as a very positive thing. We believe that we have a lot in common with Ambassador Huntsman, and that a lot of the things that people were looking for in him, they'll also find in us. And so we're very, very grateful that we were able to win. We recognize that it was close, and we feel very positive about our ability to bring those voters along and help unite all of the Republican voters in the state of Utah. Other questions? Yeah, thank you. So the question was about this movement to defund the police, and what I've said before and what I'll say again is that we need the exact opposite. As we've talked to police officers throughout the state of Utah, we know we're asking them to do too much. We're asking them to do things that they're not trained to do, especially around mental health and other issues. We need more money for de-escalation training. We need to make sure that we're giving our police officers who are doing an incredible job here in the state of Utah the tools that they need, the training that they need, and then making sure that we're not asking them to do things that they're not trained to do, which will be better for them and better for everyone in the state. Thank you. Other questions? Bueno, vamos a tratar. Bueno, sentimos muy agradable, estamos muy agradecidos a todos los que votaron para nosotros. Esperamos juntarnos como comunidades, con la comunidad latina, con todos los que viven aquí en el estado de Utah. No somos corriendo para ser el gobernador o vicegobernador para solo los que sean republicanos, sino queremos ser el gobernador y vicegobernador para todos los que viven aquí en el estado de Utah y esperamos tener el voto de todos los que sean latinos o cualquier persona que viven aquí. Bueno, yo quiero que todos lleguen a conocer a mi vicegobernador, porque ella es una persona muy, muy buena, es muy inteligente, sabe cómo conectar a personas y vayan a amar a ella cuando lo conozcan. Gracias. Other questions in English, perhaps?
So we're having a little issue with Zoom.
Okay. We're having a Zoom issue. We apologize for the technical difficulties.
Sorry. So Sonia Hudson would like to know what you're going to focus on in the next few months and what differences you see between yourself and your.
So the question is what things we're going to focus on over the next few months and what differences we might have with our opponent in the November election. Well, our focus is going to continue to be on the health, the safety, the welfare, and the economy of the citizens of the state of Utah. We believe that is by far the most important issue, balancing that economic opportunity with health and safety, something that every state is dealing with right now. But we also don't want to lose focus. I've said this before, if not for the coronavirus, all you would have heard from us is discussion on education and the importance of creating a world-class education system here in the state of Utah, the importance of overcoming the teacher shortage that we see here in our state. And we are going to continue to talk about these issues. We're going to continue to work with our teachers and administrators across the state to make sure that we are restoring the joy of teaching into the classroom. And those are the issues that we will be most focused on. Any other questions? Please. Well, Governor Herbert, if he were here, would tell you that we always try to start with the end in mind, and that end is that we want kids back in the classroom this fall. And so we are working very closely with our state superintendent, the state school board, local school boards, local administrators, teachers, parents, working again at the local level where most of these decisions get made to do everything we can to make sure that we get kids back into the classroom, that we get them reconnected. We're also working with the federal government on those issues. We've had several conversations with the president and vice president and others in the administration on this, and every state is trying to figure this out right now. So we're working on those models, those plans. Every school district is working on different plans. What it looks like if everyone's back, what it looks like if for some reason no one can come back, which is the worst case scenario, and then what happens in kind of a hybrid model if we can have some back and have to separate people. So we're working on all those plans. things are changing every day. We have new treatments coming online every day, and we're hopeful that by this fall, those treatments will be there so that we can get everyone back to school. Okay, maybe one more? Sorry, can you... Sorry. At what moment did we know we had won the election? I think when the AP called it yesterday around around 5:30 or 6 o'clock, whatever time that was. That's when we knew. I mentioned on Twitter that my family, we snuck away for just a couple days. And I've got a son that's leaving us on a mission next week, and this was the only time we would have together before he left again. And I was at a gas station in Oregon on our way home when I got the call from Austin that the AP had called the race. My family was in buying treats, and I was pumping gas, and I celebrated with some random strangers from LaSalle, Utah, who happened to be waiting for gas right behind me. They recognized me and said, "Are you Spencer? How's the race going?" I said, "Well, the guy I just talked to said we won," and we celebrated together at that gas station. So not the best celebration in the world, but we'll take it. Okay. All right, well, again, thank you all for coming today. We're very excited for the potential we have to lead the state of Utah, but we're going to work hard in November. Thank you so much.